if any series that has game in front of it is going to be sweet.
Yeah. Oh.
It's going to be very, very interesting. I mean, for example, Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
So,
you have just two. Do you have another one to back that up?
What about you give me time? Oh, hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Tewo, and today we'll be reviewing the very much anticipated Netflix series, Squid Game 2. Okay, in case you did not know, it is, and in case you don't know, it is an original Netflix series. And in the season 1, it's basically about people competing, to
fighting
for
for
money.
their lives.
And is it fight for their lives or they're competing for money?
Both of it.
So yeah, people were competing for money and at the same time fight for their lives. And then the mission was actually very simple. They were playing only childhood game that they've been playing. I mean, the childhood game that they used to play in Korean, because it's a Korean series.
Yes, I'm actually unfamiliar with most of the games.
Neither am I. So I mean, even when Mr. Beast was trying to recreate it, I mean, the original Squid Game that they played, they have to change it to dance around the chair that we used to do at
yeah.
But then it is a very nice game.
Yes.
And then it is fun, okay? And
it would actually been better for them if it was just childish games, but them being exposed to the shock of when you don't get it right, you get to be killed. I think it's made everybody more jittery. And
I mean, like, how did you feel when you first saw this scene? Like, after the
it was so shocking. Like, I was not expecting that. Like, this is just games. Like, okay, everybody's just playing this.
You know, the things like
games, and
you were not as shocked as the people that were playing the game, because like when they read the description, like they were practically informed that you are only playing a childhood game.
Yes.
And then the instruction was very clear. If you did not pass, you will be eliminated. And it is really crazy because
eliminated will seem like, okay, maybe you get to go home and then
that's the proper
to
word.
Have the money.
I just linguistic in play. Like, what the fuck are you telling me now? If anybody use any word around me, I will have to clarify. Especially all this word with ambiguous meaning. Like, calm down, I'll be eliminated. Even like I will leave the game or
you're gonna kill me. But come to think of it, who would think about that when it comes to just playing for games and money? I mean, it looks like just gambling, whereby okay, if you don't get to win, you go home with nothing. This should be what it is all about, not you killing
that
somebody
was the people's
else.
expectations too, and then it turns out that it is. And then the games were actually very interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so yeah, what we have in season 1, in season 2 is very much similar to what we had in season.
Though the games were different.
The only different, like the games were different, and then this season 2, it is based on a very much different mission, because I mean, season 1 it was basically all about the people competing for their lives. But in the season 2, the plot is a little bit different, because it was GO, the number 3, 4, 5.
I think it's 4, 5, 6.
Number 4, 5, 6. This time around, has a new mission. He was the winner of the season 1.
Yeah.
So he wants to bring down the organization, which is very interesting. I mean, he spent the last 2 years trying to find the salesman.
And to even talk about, I mean, the way he was even living his life obviously showed that he didn't get to spend the money on himself or enjoy having the money.
I think that should be a very nice thing, because I think that it's something that we would like to discuss on the series itself. Like, do you feel like the goal? I don't know. Do you understand the goal of the organization or the organization, right?
Okay.
Like, do you feel it's something that is fair, or
it is totally unfair? I mean, who does that? I don't even know.
Because like for example, I think that's where the problem comes, because like I'm human. It's not enough to give the misrepresentation of myself.
Okay.
But then when you look at it in a real sense, it's something that we practically do.
Okay.
I mean, the series depicts our life in reality, because like people who were playing the game were people who were living a very miserable life.
Yes.
They were in a lot of debts. I'm not saying that life is worthless. And then when you look at it, the old one of this is season 1,
Oinam,
who was the brain behind the game, mentioned it then. Okay, like they had consent. Okay, they could leave. In fact, in the season 1, they left. Okay, after the first round of the game, and then later on, they themselves decided to come back to the game.
Yeah.
And then in the season 2, which is even very much fair in the season 2. I mean, the season 1 it was not that fair, because if you leave the game, you'll not be rewarded. But this time around, if you vote and you win the game, you'll be rewarded.
Yeah.
So I feel like it is the people's choice.
Yeah, it is the people's choice, but like the entire idea of the game in itself, the motive behind it, the people that created it,
What
they
is the motive
obviously
behind it?
like
To
they
amuse
just want,
themselves.
yes, they just wanted to amuse themselves with people playing around and getting killed for what's not worth it.
Okay, don't let us go deep in that, and then
Okay.
maybe we revisit it later.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But then, who would you say is your favorite character in this season 2?
In this season 2, definitely my favorite character will be Gion. I mean, at the beginning, I was going to like him from the beginning of the game, and then when he started to take drugs and he was acting totally weird,
No,
and
I was never going to like that kind of personality.
I was going
There
to
are
like
personalities
him at the
that I see in
beginning.
people is the complete dick, and then like dicks are no problem with them, but I like it to be unpronounced.
Yeah.
So I was never going to like it. I know that's how they behave, because like they are very interesting set of people.
Yeah.
But then the aftermath of the actions are very, very annoying.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
then the point is like you cannot do anything for them. Like they are shameless people.
Like, I mean, the first game where they bring green light to red light, the fact that he pushed people and those people were eliminated, I was like, what's going on here? Is this guy serious? I mean, and the fact that it was also so annoyed with this guy that created this crypto guy that lost people's money. I think one of the worst things that they could have done in this movie is the fact that they let everybody know the reason why they are in debt, and everybody knows every other person's problem and their debt and all of that. Remember the guy that his debt was, I think, was it $10 billion or something? I think 10 billion won that their own currency, and everybody was like, who is that? I just find that particular place quite funny. Like, okay, there's somebody that actually is in debt of that amount of money. And when the guy came up, I was like, okay, I'm the one. It was still saying it proudly, like, it's not everybody gets to have such amount of debt. Like, guy, are you really serious?
The funny thing about the series, okay, is like because it's something that they did in season 1 also. I mean, when they were first introduced to the game, the set of guys that wear the pink shirts,
Yeah.
okay, they entered without gun. And then they introduced the game, the old stores, and they were like, okay, it's just
Yeah,
a game.
they were cool
I mean,
with
people were
it.
already angry that they were kidnapped, but it does not matter. And then they were even telling that, you trusted us, and
Yes.
then we are going to return our belongings. I mean, like when they said in the season 1, it skipped my ear because like I was not paying much attention to it. I mean,
Okay.
so when I learned to hear it again, like we are going to return your properties, and me at the back of my mind, that's no, you are not going to get. These people are going to die.
Yes, sure.
So because like because like in my defense I was like the game was actually very fair, and then it was really fair because like that's why we have the 001 who was the lead man, the front man, okay, in the game.
I will still not call the game fair, but you can go on.
Why would you not call it fair?
I will not call the game fair. Like, people should not die.
Forget about the consequence, okay? And then because even the consequence say
The
it was
consequence
that you be
is
eliminated.
everything about the game.
You're the one that decided your own definition of eliminated. So forget about the consequence, okay?
Okay.
Which we are going to probably go going on later.
Alright.
But then let's put the consequences aside.
Yeah.
Would you say
Green light, red light.
Okay.
That first game where I think was it 044 that
Yeah, was
eventually
eliminated.
that was killed. Even though the guys, I think there's this Gion and then another guy, I think that's transgender guy,
Yeah.
helped him and he was still killed. I was like, what's
Yeah,
going on here? That was not
that's
fair
very
because
true,
he actually won that round.
that did not happen in the season 1, but that's as a result. That's the fault of the security man.
Yeah,
Because normally
and that's
already tell it all, like because like they knew it was going to influence those people.
the people.
I mean, at different intervals, it was disrupting the voting process. It was, and the democracy is way better than democracy that we have in Nigeria, and I'm not sorry to say. I mean, there's no
Okay.
rigging. There's a mind playing. There's a lot of mind play.
Yes.
Because, for example, they were telling them that, remember that after you leave this place, you're going to go back to your miserable life. But at the same time, they let the opponents share their own or hear their thoughts.
At least at the beginning, towards the end, they were against a distortion of the voting process, whereby you get to convince people that they should vote for the other side. I think the last 2 times they voted, it was
if
like
I'm
that.
to be right, according to INEC, also few days towards the election period, you cannot campaign again.
Okay,
so like you've had forever to campaign.
Okay.
So yeah, in fact, I love like in the season 1, when they vote, okay, or when you say you want to cancel the game,
Yeah.
you don't get to stay. And then that's what I see that they did in this season 2. Like they really put the human greed in play.
Okay.
And what do I mean by that? Like they were so confident that even when they give these people the option to live with a little amount of money,
Yeah.
they agreed is not going to allow them. Because,
Yeah, sure.
Because in season 1, if you vote that, oh, we want to stop, we are not playing again, you go empty-handed. But this time around, you are going to share the money.
Yeah.
So, but then people were still voting to continue the game. Although in the first,
and then just one person will come and disrupted that thing. I was like, what's this? You could just have made it does not always have to be a tie. I mean, most of the voting process in this season 2 were usually tie, like, okay, one person is just the major difference, or two persons are just the major difference between those who wanted to stay and those who wanted to, leave the game. And I think that was not fair enough. I mean, there are lots of people that wanted to leave the game and they would have saved their lives.
yeah, I also have problem with it. But there was one that was not that so close.
Yeah, I know there was one that was not that close, but I think like 2 times or 3 times that they
Yeah, there's which of the games is your favorite? And then let's say both the season 1 and the games season 1 and season 2.
There's a common game in both season 1 and season 2.
The green light.
Green light. I think that was actually kind of funny, even though it was life threatening. But all of the games were
all the games were life threatening.
So I think I actually like that green light, red light.
You are really the problem, because for example, like, you just feel like the organizers of the game were evil people, but then see what you voted for. It is the particular game that they were not aware that their life is at stake, and that's the game.
I like the concept. I just said I love the game. Like,
okay, my own favorite was this one. I think the one in season 2 when they were in this orange room, and then
there was, I think that what's it called? Is it merry-go-round or what?
Yeah, merry-go-round. And then it's not really the game that I love.
Oh,
this is the song. The song is so sweet.
And also I think I also love the fact that the what's it called? The entire
and
at first I almost thought that the lady that was looking for a child was actually being recruited into the game. It was later on I actually realized that it was for her to be part of the guards. I was like, wow,
and then it is just like I mean, those people were playing God, and then because like it is just the same way God decided to create some people and they throw them in the family of Octadollar, while some people in the US. And,
yes. So they recruit some
I mean Africa, Nigeria, which is L. So like some people were the one doing the I mean, they were all evil.
Yeah.
I mean, but some people were the one doing the elimination, while some people are the ones that are putting their lives in stake.
Yes, that's
and then even within the people that were doing the elimination.
So I think it should have also taken some kind of skills to be part of the guards.
What stupid skills? What skills did they take for those people that were when they wanted to attack the guards? I mean, it was just basically teaching them how to handle the snipers. It's not like they had the
it was not like they had to train them to actually kill people.
No, they trained them. They were trained.
Did they?
They were trained. No, handling gun is not that simple. Calm down.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So yeah, they were trained they were trained, not like they had the skills, because like what you're trying to say is like they already had that kind of skills, okay, and then that will qualify them.
Yeah,
but that's not true, because for example, even among the players, some of them were marrying. Why were they not recruited for us? I mean, it's just like fates playing. And then because for example, now when you say like the game, going back to the fairness of the game, he played a game with the salesman, and he lost and he eliminated himself.
Okay.
I mean, it was even fun because like
I mean, I was not expecting that. I was like, I even thought maybe he really didn't kill himself. I was going to come back alive or something.
That guy's a monster.
Who kills himself over the fact that you lose a game? I mean, this is not even part of the real game.
But it's the game now. The game is
I think I think it's a mindset that they have, like they see themselves as just part of a game, like life is a game to them and all of that. I think that's the only reason why you kill yourself over that.
But in a way, life is not just a game. Trade that they have in the movie is something that is practical. Do you feel like the whole series is realistic?
Of course, there are many things that are not realistic. It's a movie, let's not forget. And so they are not exactly
what are
trying.
The things that you feel like they are not realistic?
I think firstly, the fact that some people still voted to stay after witnessing such brutal killings of people that they just got, to know. I mean, that very first time that they played the game, and they still voted to actually stay on. I think that was really unrealistic. No matter how much you love money and how much you are greedy for money and you think your life is a mess and all that, you see people killing and you don't even think about what if I'm the one that is next tomorrow. I think it is really unrealistic for that. I mean, even if there are going to be those who vote to stay, they should not be as much as they really.
For example, there's a reason why they showed us how they recruit people for it. Like there's a complete background check.
Yes,
they know they are. So I mean, the rapper guy said he was at the bridge, so he was going to end his life.
Okay.
So rather than let them alive freely, and then people in their lives, I mean, people commit suicide
day by
day.
You don't want to die this way.
It's not how the and then this time around you have a chance. I mean, for example, oil tanks. Yeah. The occasion that when they fall.
Okay.
And what do people do?
In accidents. Okay.
So, and then what people usually do is that they go there to fetch those oil.
Okay.
And then the aftermath is always explosion. Like if at 90% of the time there's always an explosion.
Okay.
And then day by day it occur.
And
day
so
by
people
day, I see people going there
to still do that.
So if you give those people there, and then I mean these people that go there, I don't know if they are in situation that is as drastic as the ones in this series.
Okay.
So if you give those kind of people a chance for them, like it is a kind of life and death situation. I mean, like in the game, what everybody was thinking, like, oh, eventually I may survive, I will survive, I may survive, I may survive. And that's the reason why people keep voting.
Yeah.
And in fact, people who were voted to continue are people who when you look at the equations, mostly people who voted to continue that survive the most.
Okay.
So like it's just like irritation, like, oh, I'm skillful enough to manage these situations. Talk about people that grew up also. Like for every operation that you are going, you know that you have your life at stake.
Yeah, that's true.
Or the extreme of your situation that make people to take this kind of extreme actions. Like people have been taking extreme actions. People have been taking life-threatening actions day by day. And then people in this series, okay, the way they portray them, were the people who would really do that.
Okay.
I mean, this guy basically, it is a season 1, for example, he signed that his part of the body was going to be removed. He would not pay his debt. Yeah. Which was eventually going to be removed because I'm sure he would not have the money. So, like, I feel like it's totally realistic.
Okay. Okay, so now let's go to you. What do you think are unrealistic in this movie? Or you think everything is just perfect? Because I can see the way you're relating it to Nigerian.
No, I mean, I'm not listening to Nigerian. I'm listening to humanity.
Okay, yes, but you also brought out the Nigerian scene, so that's why I'm asking you.
Okay, what do I think is unrealistic? I love adventures.
Okay.
But I know that the shooting spree that happened is not something that normal human being can handle.
Okay.
It is unrealistic. Guns are not that. I mean, guns are not. They try to explain it when I've forgotten the guy number, when he had PTSD. I mean, but in reality, like almost most of the people in that were shooting cannot handle those kind of situations.
Yes, actually, even though that guy is actually an ex-Marine.
So even though he was an ex-Marine, it's just like he is at the recruit level. Now, what about people who it does not even have any kind of a military background, and including even the guards themselves, like you were trained, but they were not like trained.
Actually, I think I agree with you. That particular scene is not exactly looking
but the trailer, like it is my favorite scene in the whole movie series. So I don't know what
because
to say,
there was a lot of blood spilling. Okay.
So and then I also agree that at a point most people should have voted out. And then the reason why they would have voted out is not because they don't want to put their mind at stake. It's just like the kind of fear in play. So I feel like
I think they got over their shock too easily in the movie.
Yeah, I think so, because like you see them stepping on bloods and then how
could you go on playing game when you've seen blood of people you just spoke to a second
at the point
ago,
human being
all around you
to that extent.
I mean, even though I get the adaptation part of the human nature, but I think that part was too horrid for them to get over the shock and still go on with their lives. And
it happens because like games that they are playing are games that they feel like they were familiar with, even though you don't even know what you're going to play next. But what may I find more interesting, like how do they choose those people that we're going to give them that money for?